And also in the film, you've got a great lineup of people talking about you. Slash, Scott, Ian. I mean, was that easy to get people in? Or did,
I mean,
did
you know,
there's a great love for Anvil.
There's a great love for Anvil.
It
As
could
soon
be-
as, I mean, it was
could be
really...
a movie just about people saying things about our band.
Brilliant.
It was really Scott Ian. I mean, by the way, Lars Ulrich went on for 27 minutes. Like non-stop about Anvil. The whole interview we're putting on the DVD, the whole thing.
Wow.
So people will
very
really
compelling.
see what Lars said, and I think
Yeah.
that's going to be really interesting for people
That's very
because,
good.
you know,
It's
people.
very compelling.
Yeah.
I mean, you were blown away when you
Yeah,
saw
it's
that.
unbelievable.
It's like unbelievable because he's talking specifically a lot about Rob.
He didn't have to say anything, and he just on his own went on and on about everything that happened.
Mm.
It's amazing.
So he was like very knowledgeable.
Well, you'll
Yeah,
see on the
he's like
DVD.
a
I mean, when
professor,
you
he's
see
like
that
a
interview,
professor.
you will understand. And the great thing is, we have Lars before the camera goes on,
Right.
and then after the camera's off,
Yeah.
you can hear him talking.
Still talking.
And so the thing is that you've got, which is your rule,
Yeah.
which is which really tells you, you know, everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So all of these guys were so excited a movie was going to be made. I
Yeah.
don't think people quite understood quite what it was, but they just wanted the opportunity to sort of give, you know, give real thumbs up to a band who'd been so influential, who they'd felt in Slash's own world had been kicked up in the dust of the other
Yeah.
bands that took them over.
Yeah.
And Slash has actually written the foreword to the Anvil book, which
Oh
comes
yeah, so
out.
there's a book coming. Yeah.
So-
What's the book about?
Oh, the
What's
book
it
is
saying?
incredible.
Yeah, the book
I'd
is-
say it's better than the film.
Yeah, the book is completely mind-blowing. It's
Yeah.
completely mind-blowing.
No, it's great.
Does it follow the same path?
Yeah, it's like the movie, but it fills in all the little...
Right.
It fills in the stuff that the movie people... What happened, you know?
Mm.
It's a deeper, elaborate, more complete story.
It's like all the detail, like
Yeah.
everything about the former band members and
Ah,
what happened
okay.
and why
Yeah.
it didn't happen and the
Yeah.
history and, you know, the more
Yeah.
of the family backgrounds and all the stuff that we couldn't put in the film. But the great thing is the film is sort of gives you the appetite so that when people come to the book or the DVD extras, they're going to lap it up because
Yeah.
that's all the stuff that
There's a
they
lot more
want.
to take
Yeah.
in.
It's a
know.
great read.
Yeah. Did you have any, when you put the documentary together, did you have any problems getting it financed or anything like that, or selling it? Because
No.
Everyone was into it. I didn't know if they would be into the idea of a metal documentary.
No, I didn't bother to convince anyone, so
Oh, yeah.
I paid for it myself.
Just went and did it.
I just went and did it. It was like one of those things where it was the summer. The tour was going to go in November. I had to get a crew together. I had to do all this stuff. I wouldn't have had time to go and find money.
Right.
I wouldn't have even had time. And so I just thought, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. Because I knew if I hadn't gone for it in that moment, it would be lost. Because I literally could have spent September, October, November looking for the money. And I would have had to relinquish control
Yeah,
at a certain
that's
point.
okay.
You know, someone else would be paying for it. It's their game.
Yeah.
You know, if you're paying for it, well, then you have control over it. So I just made that decision. You know, obviously my accountant had a heart attack. Well, he's in recovery now, but
Yeah.
he's still on medication. But yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? It was a huge. I mean, the first rule of the film business is never, ever, ever pay for your own film. And I just felt for this one time, I broke it.
Yeah.
It was the right thing to do, you know. And I think long term it'll all be fine. But
Yeah.
it was an immense, crazy, crazy, crazy thing to do. But I just felt it.
It worked.
Sometimes you've got to go for
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's such a
Like
great
Joel
story.
says in Risky Business, sometimes you just got to say, "What the fuck."
Excellent. So, Ron and Steve, the film debuted at Sundance in 2008. So that's over a year ago. How's the last year been for you?
It's been Gomez's train ride.
We're on a train ride, and it's
Yeah.
not stopping at many stations.
Yeah,
It's
I can
just
imagine.
picking up more speed, and it's
More
awesome.
carriages.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about all your new fans? Like saying, you played at the Secret Cinema gigs yesterday, so you've got several thousand people there.
I love it.
mean, that must be fantastic for
It's
you.
amazing. There's a whole new audience. They're discovering they're discovering the band,
Yeah.
the history, the story. It feels great. We've worked hard for
Coming
it.
out of the Gobi Desert
Yeah.
to find
We worked
water
hard. We
and
worked hard
food.
for it, and we deserve it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because the thing I loved in the documentary is your new album, This Is 13. Sounds like a band that still want to play. It still has songs, it's still got something to say. You're not going through emotions. It sounds really alive. I mean, how do you...
We are alive.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. I mean,
It's hunger.
Your hunger to keep...
It's
yeah.
all, I mean, that's really ultimately the bottom line. As long as you stay hungry, you're going to work with integrity and you're going to have good stuff. I mean, the biggest fault that we have and have had through our entire career is just poor business decisions,
Right.
or not even having a matter of choice or options, taking whatever we could get. You know, so that's been the biggest problem, is coming out of that. Not our music or our ability. It's just really the business that surrounds it.
Yeah.
We've got really, really lucky by a chance of miracle. And it's a celebration of that fact.
Yes, absolutely. No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. One of the things we do on our website is we talk about people's influences and their what's inspired them. So I was wondering, if Anvil could play on any bill with any other bands at all, who would you want to play with? Any bands from all time?
Cactus.
Cactus.
Let's do a Deep Purple, Heaven and Hell,
Yeah, Deep Purple.
Grand Funk?
Grand Funk.
Ozzy.
Ozzy, yeah.
The Cream.
Oh.
I mean, the list that I can give you a list. Who's going forever?
I mean, when you were growing up, who was an influence on you? What were the bands you were listening to?
The ones we just said: Deep
Oh,
Purple,
yeah,
Sabbath,
yeah.
Grand Funk, Cactus,
All the classics. Then.
Hendrix, The Cream,
Yeah.
A little bit of
Right
Rage
Heat,
occasionally.
Foghat. I mean, the list goes on.
And Sacha, what about you?
Budgie, the Welsh
Budgie,
Power Trio,
yeah,
headlined Reading in 1983, I think they were. The Welsh
wow.
Power, with a gigantic flying V that was their stage prop.
Wow.
Budgie.
Sacha, as a filmmaker.
Stoked. Sorry.
That's right. As a filmmaker, who influenced you? Who are you?
Bruce Robinson, with Nell and I. It's all about
yeah.
that film. Saw it 1986 at the Curzon, Shaftesbury Avenue.
Yeah.
Blew my mind. Walked out of the cinema into the snow.
Yeah.
Lit a cigarette. Looked up. Saw the moon. Said, "I'm going to become a film director one day."
Brilliant. What was
Met him
Yeah.
like 2 years later. I was playing tennis with someone in Wiltshire. I said, With Nell and I is my favourite film. The guy said, "Oh, I know Bruce Robinson. Shall I give him a ring?" And so I went and I showed up at Bruce's house and he read my first script and he told me that I was crazy to want to get into the film business and that I should immediately think again.
Yeah.
And I ignored him completely and that was the test.
Yeah.
And he was just wonderful to me and that film still resonates and I think that sort of enduring quality is something I hope to infuse Anvil. It has a bit of that, I hope.
Yeah.
And it was amazing last night when we did Secret Cinema to have Ralph Brown, who played Danny the Dealer,
Yes.
in with Nell and I, come and compare the event.
Oh, was that on purpose? Did you get
Yeah. I mean, they wanted to
It
do it,
was
so I
so
found him.
convenient.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, bet.
So I found him. So you had like Del from Wayne's World
Yeah.
or Danny from With Nell interviewing these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it was truly extraordinary because for me it was the fusion of my worlds. It was like the film that inspired me to want to become a filmmaker and the subjects of my first film together in the same moment, and the energy was just, everyone was feeling it, right? It was just amazing.
That must have been an amazing event.
It was amazing.
It was an amazing event, like
Yeah.
truly. Listen, Ralph Brown never dusts that off. He never does Danny the Dealer.
No.
He does it
No.
once every few years.
Yeah.
And he said, with Anvil, I really felt it. I really knew I had to be part of it. Because it's got that With Nail energy.
Yes.
The film.
Yeah.
It's very, very warm and funny and special and crazy and, intimate and tender. And it's about, male friendship and enduring through really tough times, which is why you have to see this film. You've got to see this film because you're going to
Oh, you've never
I've
seen
seen
it?
it, no.
They haven't seen it.
Oh.
No.
I've been telling them
I'm
about
not,
it.
I'm not a big movie watcher.
No.
Ellipses, but
But this one is well done.
yeah, I will. On Sacha's recommendation, I will see it, absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay, and just one last question then. What do you see the future of Anvil?
What is in the future?
Yeah, what are
We're
your
going to
plans?
record a new album. We're going to
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
your
And hopefully at a better level than we ever
Yeah.
known.
The new album is it's called Juggernaut of Justice.
Oh, you've recorded a new album?
No, it's all the songs are written, and we're just going to record it when in the next while, just when the time's right.
Yeah.
And we're going to carry on. All
Brilliant.
we want to do is rock.
Yeah. And that's a perfect note to end on. Brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, man.